Okay, so this is a video to demonstrate how to make a bowl form from one slab. So maybe your historic vessel has some sort of bowl-like shape inside of it. All you need to do is, all you need for this is a ceramic bowl or a plastic bowl. Any sort of bowl that's already made works. A piece of newspaper, some sort of knife or maybe a needle tool, and one slab that is rolled out and about a 1/4 inch thick. You definitely don't want to go any thinner than this because we're essentially using the form of this bowl to create the form of this slab into a bowl. It's pretty easy. So you just want to take a newspaper, and I definitely recommend that you put it on the inside of the bowl instead of putting the newspaper on the outside and wrapping the slab on the outside. I recommend putting the newspaper on the inside of the bowl and kind of squishing it down so that the newspaper is touching the bottom of the bowl. You can kind of fold over the excess too. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. I definitely recommend doing this from the inside. I'll show you why. So my newspaper's in my bowl and I have my slab. My slab is pretty circular shaped. I also wanted to make sure that it was just had a lot bigger than the diameter of my bowl. I wanted it to be a lot bigger because I'm gonna essentially just stuff it in here. So I'm gonna lay my slab over my bowl, and my slab is pretty wet. I just rolled it out fresh from the bag, and I'm going to just kind of slowly stuff it in there. And I'm definitely starting from the middle and pushing down and just kind of rotating. This is just a little slow process. You don't want to go too fast because you don't want to create a hole in the clay. I'm just using the pads of my fingers to run over the clay so it can try to form into the shape of this bowl. So once I can feel that my slab of clay is pressed up very snugly to the inside, every part of the surface area of the inside of my bowl, I can just take my fingers again, run it over the inside. And then this is when I need to use my knife. I'm going to use my knife to cut away the excess clay. So I'm just going to start by just removing the bigger chunks, and then I can sort of refine it later. Then I'm just going to spend a moment refining this lip of my bowl. I want it to just be the same thickness. And I can kind of compress it over the bowl that is holding its form. just make that look nice and neat. Always just kind of clean up the edges with the wet sponge when I'm done. So then the reason I'm suggesting that you build the clay bowl from the inside of your already made fashioned bowl is because when clay dries, it shrinks a little bit. So with this shrinking, with this clay shrinking, because it's the form on the inside, when it shrinks, it should be really easy to just pop out and remove. So when you're all done making your bowl look all pretty, you can just set it over to the side, let it dry for, I don't know, an hour or two. And then once it's done drying, I have one that I've let dry for actually maybe only about 15 minutes, but it's great because the newspaper really helps pop out the form a lot easier. It helps it not stick to whatever bowl you use in the beginning. So just pop that out. Remove the newspaper. And with a sponge or with my fingers, I can just sort of refine all of these cracks that got left over from the newspaper. I actually think they're kind of cool looking, but just depending on why you would use this technique, you could, refine this bowl to make it even more of a functional, beautiful bowl. Or you can, I don't know, you could use it for some sort of sculptural technique, even as like a base for you to build upon as well. So that is how you form a bowl from a slab.